Hey, hi, hello. My name is dis.cat. This is Project Hardcover, where we're letting books be the escape. Hello, and today I'm going to be doing a tag that I've been meaning to do for the longest time. I'm going to be doing the book sacrifice tag. This tag was created by the incredibly lovely Ariel Bissett, and I will link her original video down in the doobly-doo. So this tag is basically just a really fun, creative way for us book readers to complain and rant about books that we really don't like. This by no means means that these books are bad, or that they're terrible, or that the people who like them are terrible or bad. It's just our opinion, and it's just a really fun way to talk about it. So please, no one get offended. If you guys love any of these books, you don't have to take what I say to heart, it's just how I feel. So basically how this tag works is we are given these terrible scenarios in which we have to sacrifice books. And we have to pick the books that we least like that have to do with said scenario to just sacrifice up to the book gods. So with that being said, let's get started. Scenario number 1. Now just imagine, you're in a bookstore, just browsing the shelves when, all of a sudden, zombie apocalypse! Like, buckle down, people! There are dead people outside who want to eat your brains! You're freaking out. You don't know what to do. There's zombies everywhere. They want to eat your brains. You don't know what to do. But then an announcement comes over the PA system. You can save yourself from these mindless creatures of the dead by throwing an overhyped book at their heads. So what overhyped book would you choose to end the reign of the living dead? For this, I would absolutely have to go with 50 Shades of Grey by E.L. James. This book, people, this book disappointed me on just so many levels and just made me angry on so many levels. First of all, it is incredibly sexist. 2, the BDSM that is in the actual book isn't actual legit BDSM. Like, people who are members of the BDSM community, who have been in the community and actually know what they're doing, find this stuff appalling. And then there's the fact that romance novels didn't exactly have a great rap to begin with. You're walking around somewhere and you have, a typical romance novel in your hands. Everyone's like, oh, well, we all know what they like reading. Wow. So this just did worlds for that reputation. Plus, when the news came out that this book was actually based on Twilight fanfiction, it was Twilight fanfiction that actually got redone and then was published. Just the entire world of fanfiction, just everyone was like, wow, this is what fanfiction is? Just, whoa, oh my. Which is super infuriating, because I am a person who proudly reads fanfiction from all different kinds of fandoms, and just let me tell you, I have read some fanfiction that, oh my god, it's better than published books that I've read. So just overall, this terrible book, I have no words for it. It's just, this needs to stop being a thing. It needs to stop being a thing. Super infuriates me that not only was this book on, bestseller list once, but as soon as the movie comes out, it's gonna be on the bestseller list again, and it's just like, no. It shouldn't have been there once. Scenario number 2. Imagine, you just got back from the hair salon and you have a fabulous new hairdo. I mean, darling, you must have paid at least $50 on this. I mean, it's beautiful, it's glorious. You are going to be just the envy of the entire world. And then you look outside, and it's just torrential downpour. So what sequel are you going to choose to use as an umbrella to protect your glorious hairdo? And, yeah, I think this one is a pretty obvious one for me. That's right, Allegiant by Veronica Roth. Just, oh. I don't think I've ever been so betrayed by a piece of fiction in my entire life before. This book, I'm not even gonna talk about the main thing. Like, the main thing that everyone gets pissed about, I'm not even gonna talk about that. This book took one of my all-time favorite characters and ruined him for an entire book. That's right, she messed up 4. In all the other books, 4 was level-headed, and he was mature, and just confident, and just so awesome and well-rounded, and that carried over into Insurgent, and it was great. And then this happened, and all of a sudden, he's whiny, he's immature, and he's insecure, and it's just like, what happened? He's fighting with Triss about stupid stuff that just doesn't make any sense, and he's doing stupid things that don't make any sense, and it's just, what happened? Where did his brain go? Where did it go? And then, yes, of course, there was the info dumping, and then there was the big thing. At the end, it was just, this book was a mess, people. It was a mess. Just protect my hair. I live in Florida. This is a thing that could actually happen. Situation number 3. So you're in literature class, and you're listening to your professor just go on and on about this piece of literature, how it changed the world, and how it made such a grand impact in the world of English. And you're just sitting there like, no. No. This book was terrible. It didn't impact anything. It was just awful. So what book do you pick up and just chuck at your teacher's face? Because you know what? It's worth getting detention just to show everybody that no, there's just no. Just no. This book, just no. This book, without a doubt for me, is The Red Badge of Courage by Stephen Crane. Just, oh my god, just this book. Remember, I was in high school and I had to read this book. And I remember the teacher would like go around the room and ask everybody, okay, you know, what did you like about the book? What did you not like about the book? You know, what did you like? What did you not like? And then he would get to me and he'd just be like, Chardon, what did you like about what you read? And I would just be like, nothing. All it is about this stupid little teenage wimp ass who's like, you know what, I'm gonna go to war and I'm gonna shoot people and I'm gonna kill people and then I'm gonna be a man, I'm gonna be strong and respected and then I might be wrong, again, I read this in high school, I might be wrong, but he doesn't even see the battle. The first battle he's in, he doesn't even see the front line. He just hears the shots go off and he runs away. And then the next section of the book is just him blathering on about how, oh, I'm not a coward. I did what anyone would do when people are shooting at him. I ran away. There is nothing cowardly about that at all. Just absolutely nothing. Just nothing. So then he goes back to the war and he's like, yeah, this time I'm not gonna run away. I'm gonna be a man. Kill all the people because apparently that's what it means to be a man. And then the gunfire starts and he runs away again. It's just, seriously, it's an entire novel just talking about the fragility and just stupidness of the male ego. While I'm sure tons of the dudes in the class could have related to it somehow and in some way, I'm a freaking teenage girl. I didn't. It was awful, terrible. Just no. Another runner-up for this could have been Waiting for Godot by Sam Beckett, but there's not enough time in the day for me to go on about that, so I'm just not. Just know that it was also in the running. Scenario number 4. So you're in the library and you're just relaxing, perusing the shelves, just having a grand old time, when all of a sudden your dad calls you and he tells you that global warming has just exploded. The world outside is a frozen wasteland and the only hope you have for survival is to burn whatever you can get your hands on. So what book, your least favorite book of life, do you run to first to start burning, knowing that you will not feel any guilt in ridding the world of it? This also is just so painfully simple for me. It is, without a doubt, Homecoming by Cynthia Voigt. Oh my god, this book! This book! I had to read this book in homeroom class in middle school. All the little homeroom classes in middle school, we each had to read a different book, and then we would circulate when we were done with it. And my class got stuck with the two worst books. We got stuck with Homecoming, and then I Am the Cheese by... Oh, I don't even know who wrote it. I'll like leave it here so you guys can know, but oh my god, they were the worst books ever. So boring, painfully long, nothing happens, and it's just, and I remember being so infuriated because like the other two homeroom classes were reading Peter and the Starcatchers, which is freaking fantastic. I ended up picking that book up over the summer, and it was just great. And then Night by Eli Wessel. I was just like, I'm gonna make people explode with my brain. Like, I'm gonna figure out how that's done. This book is about these three kids who are traversing backwoods America on foot, trying to get from wherever it is they live. They live in like freaking Mississippi or Alabama or something, and they're like walking all the way to like Maine or something to go live with their aunt because their mom just died or something like that. And it's just like 400, maybe even 500 pages of these kids walking through the freaking woods, talking about sticks, and then random conversations of, would we consider ourselves bastard children? I mean, technically our mom wasn't married to our dad, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh my god. And then, there's a sequel! That's right, there are two of these god-awful books. Just, I hate this book. I read this book when I was like in the 7th grade, and it is just carried over. Just every book I read, no matter how bad it is, I'm like, well, at least it's not as bad as Homecoming. And then we have scenario number 5, which the lovely Christine from Poland Bananas Books came up with, and I actually think it's a lot of fun, so I'm gonna do it. So in this scenario, you're backstage. You're backstage at one of your own shows, a comedy show, maybe you're backstage getting ready to be interviewed by the wonderful Jay Leno. Well, not Jay Leno because, you know, he doesn't do that anymore, but maybe David Letterman. He's still in the running for a little bit. And you just happen to have your favorite series backstage with you, you know, just in case you wanted to read a few chapters to calm your nerves. That perfectly makes sense. And you've been chewing this gum for like hours, all day. It's like not even gum anymore. It's just like tar and paste. There's no flavor or anything, and just, oh, you gotta get rid of this stuff. You gotta get rid of it. Definitely before you go on stage. You can't go on stage with gum in your mouth. There are no napkins, no tissues, no nothing. All you have is your favorite book series. So the question is, which last page from your favorite book series, which ending to one of your favorite book series are you gonna tear out and wad your nasty gum into because just, oh, you hated this ending? And for this pains me. It does. It hurts me to talk about this. I am going to go with Of Monsters of Men, which I don't own, but Of Monsters and Men, which is the 3rd book in the Chaos Walking trilogy by Patrick Ness. The 1st book is The Knife of Never Letting Go. Just... that ending, man. That ending. It was just... I don't even know how to word about this. This series was so good. It was so good. It's just let me tell you, people. Just let me tell you. Okay, this book, for the first, I think I figured it out. I've calculated this. The first 38 pages, right? That right there. Those pages there, it's pretty slow. I mean, it's a sci-fi book. It has to build up the world and the characters and everything. So for the first 38 pages, it's pretty slow. And then from there to page 64. Page 64. So from there to there, we're at a jogging, running pace. It's definitely picked up, but it's not, you know, on your seat freaking out. It's so enticing and so exciting. But it does pick up. And then from here, part 2. It's on page 65. Page 65 of the first book to the last page in the 3rd book. This shit right here is Usain Bolt on acid. It just takes off like a bullet out of a gun, and it doesn't stop. There's no reprieve. There's no place for you to breathe. Nothing. It's just action-packed, drama-filled craziness, and it's so good. And it's just so crazy amazing. Even the 3rd book, like the entire 3rd book, except for like the last 15 pages, was just ridiculous. There were twists and turns and things you weren't expecting, and just so much character development and action, and it was just so crazy amazing. And then it's like, imagine you're doing 50 miles an hour down the interstate, and then all of a sudden your car just stops. And I don't mean like gradually, slows into a stall. I mean, just stops. And your body just goes tumbling through the windshield and sprawls out on the asphalt because just... It hurt. It hurt so bad. Why? Why? I dedicate so much of my life to you. Why do you hurt me? Why? 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 And then because I'm in a particularly fun mood today, I decided to come up with my own scenario. So here we have scenario number 6. So imagine, for reasons unknown, you have been left in the possession of a very priceless object. You have been instructed to hide it inside one of your many books. But of course, this poses a problem. You loan out so many of your books, and perhaps you have friends who just like coming over and browsing your shelves, looking at books that you've perhaps talked about or they've read about on some website or heard about on some TV show. So which book are you possibly going to pick? But you have a solution to this problem. You're going to pick your least favorite book that, as far as you know, really no one else knows about. So to surmise all that, pick your least favorite book. A book that you read that you absolutely just did not like, that nobody else has read. You can't rant about your anger and hatred of it with anybody else. And for this, I'm going to go with Side Effects May Vary by Julie Murphy. I know I promised you guys, like in July, that I was gonna do a review on this because I read it for Booktubeathon, and actually I did. I did an awesome review, if I do say so myself, on this book. I felt like I really got into why I didn't like it and got to discuss all of the things that I wanted to talk about, and then because my computer is a little butt munch, it erased it all. And I just haven't found time to redo it and that stuff, but oh man, this book. I know it seemed like during Booktubeathon I only had mild dissatisfaction with this book, but of course I've had quite a lot of time to digest it and think about it some more, and no. This book had so much potential. The basic idea behind this book is this girl is diagnosed with cancer and they tell her she's going to die. So she decides that she is going to get revenge and get back of all of the really bad and mean and evil people in her life before she goes. And that's just an excellent premise to work with. It could be so much fun and it could be funny and, really heartwarming. It really gets you excited. And none of the things happened. I mean, even she did get revenge on some of the people in this book, but what she did was not at all outstanding. It wasn't the acts of someone who's like, oh, I want to go out with a big bang, I'm gonna do these things because I have nothing left to lose. It was, stupid, petty stuff that high schoolers would have done to each other. This is something that I easily could have done. Me, who would have had to see these kids the next day. It was just such a letdown. And these characters just... Let me clear something up. Here's a good example of these characters right here. Take the characters in this, right? Take these characters. Make them self-absorbed, self-obsessed, selfish, ungrateful, just backstabby and petty, and just god-awful little, just completely flip them. Just give them a complete 180, and that's what you got in here. Just complete opposite. Just complete opposite. And then, of course, one of the worst parts of this is that I have absolutely no one to talk about this with, because I know absolutely no one who has read this. And of course I'm not going to recommend it to anybody. I'm not going to tell my friends, hey, read this book that I really, really hated, just so we can share in our mutual hatred of it. I'm not like that. So yeah, I'm stuck just seething in my own boiling pot of hatred, and I can't even vent about it with anybody. So that's it. That is the book sacrifice tag. I hope you guys had fun. I had fun, and I hope I didn't upset anybody with these books. Again, that wasn't the intention. It was just supposed to be a fun way for me to talk about books that I really dislike. But if you guys want to disagree with me or argue with my opinions or maybe agree with my opinions, definitely on Side Effects May Vary. I really need to find other people who didn't like that book. Just leave me stuff down in the comments. I would love to talk to you guys about this stuff. And I would love to see you guys do this. Now comes time for me to tag people. So I'm actually trying to be better about that. I actually want to, you know, be an active part in the community instead of just, you know, taking up space. So for this, and I'm sorry if you guys already did this tag, I didn't do a lot of research, but just anyway, the people I'm gonna tag for this are Carly from Carly's Books, Bookie Monster, and Books Like Leica. I think that's how you say your name. I'm sorry if it's not. But anyway, I've tagged you, 3 lovely ladies. Please do this. It's a lot of fun, and I would love to see what books just really get the insides of you into molten lava status. As always, thanks you guys for watching. I will see you next time, and remember, books are the escape, even the ones that we don't like.